dear children, welcome to our today's geography session. Today we are going to continue our last session's lesson, that is motions of the earth. So children, open your textbook. Today we are going to read the textbook, we are going to solve the notes, and again I am going to show you the videos of this lesson. So be ready with your textbook, children. So our lesson number 3 is motions of the earth. So as you know children, today as you know that there are two types of motions, okay, namely rotation and revolution. So what do you mean by rotation? Rotation is the movement of the earth on its axis. The movement of the earth around the sun in a fixed path or orbit is called the revolution. So what do you mean by rotation and revolution? What is the difference between rotation and revolution is? Rotation is the movement of the earth on its axis, okay. It takes 24 hours to complete one rotation, and that rotation is also called as the earth day. Then again, what do you mean by revolution? Revolution means the movement of the earth around the sun, okay, in a fixed path or orbit is called a revolution. So this is what the difference between rotation and revolution. Now the axis of the earth, which is an imaginary line, okay, it makes an angle of 66.5 degree with its orbital plane. So the plane formed by this orbit is known as the orbital plane. The earth, it receives the light from the sun. So due to the spherical shape of the earth, only half of it gets the light from the sun at a time. The portion facing the sun experiences day, while the other half away from the sun experiences night. This circle that divides the day from the night on the globe is called the circle of illumination. This circle, it does not coincide with the axis, as you see in figure 3.2. The earth takes about 24 hours to complete one rotation around its axis, and this period of rotation is known as the earth day. This is the daily motion of the earth. See children, here the picture, okay, of the earth. This is the plane of the earth's orbit, okay, and this is the axis, a fixed axis of the earth. So here this is earth, okay, this earth, it is tilted at 23.5 degree, okay, and then the plane of the earth's orbit, this is the plane of the earth's orbit where it revolves around the sun, and here it makes the angle of 66.5 degree. Then here in this picture you can see how days and nights occur. Days and nights occur due to the rotation of the earth. So here can you see this circle children? The circle, this is the circle that is illuminated by the sun, and this circle, it divides the area into two parts, okay, dark and lighted. So this circle is called as circle of illumination, okay, the circle that divides the day from night on the globe. This is the globe, and the circle that divides the day from the night, it is called the circle of illumination. This circle, it does not coincide with the axis, as you see in this figure. The earth takes 24 hours to complete one rotation around its axis. So this period of rotation is known as earth day, or it is also called as the daily motion of the earth. Now just tell me, what would happen if the earth did not rotate? Yes, if the earth will not rotate, then what will happen? We will not have days and nights. The portion of the earth that is facing the sun would always experience day, and thus bringing continuous warmth to that region, and the other half would remain in the darkness and be freezing cold all the time, and that is why life would not have been possible in such an extreme condition. So it is important that earth should rotate. If earth will not rotate, then what will happen? Then we will not have days and nights. The areas which are having light, they will be having throughout day, and the areas which are in dark, they will be having throughout night. An ancient Indian astronomer Aryabhatta had stated that the earth is round and rotates on its own axis. Now, in the second motion of the earth around the sun in its orbit is called revolution. Revolution means the motion of the earth around the sun, it is called as revolution. Here the earth, it takes 365 and quarter days, okay, means 365 days and 6 hours, that is 1 year, to revolve around the sun. So, we considered a year as consisting of 365 days only, and we ignore 6 hours for the sake of our convenience. Means for our convenience we ignore this 6 hours every year. We just say as 365 days or 366 days. So, why? Then where has this 6 hours gone? So, these 6 hours, they are saved every year and they are added to make one day, that is 24 hours, okay, over a span of 4 years. Means these 6 hours, 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6. So, 4 years, continuous year, if we add this 6 plus 6 plus 6, we get 24 hours, that means 1 day. So, this 1 day or this surplus day, it is added to the month of February, okay. Thus, every 4th year, that is February, is of 29 days instead of 28 days. As every year February we get 28 days, but when this leap year comes, that year we will have February as 29 days. Even this 2020, this is the leap year, here we are having February as 29 days instead of 28 days. Why? Because last 3 years 666 hours plus this year 6 hours we have added to this year's calendar in the month of February. From figure 3.3, it is clear that the earth is going around the sun in an elliptical order, okay children, this is the elliptical order, and the earth, it is going around the sun in this shape, okay, this elliptical shape. Notice that throughout its orbit, the earth is inclined in the same direction, okay. See this direction, okay children, the earth, it is in the same direction, see here, okay. A year is usually divided into summer season, winter season, spring season and autumn seasons, okay. They have divided the year into 4 seasons: summer, winter, spring and autumn. Seasons change due to the change in the position of the earth around the sun. Means why are the seasons changing? It is because of this position of the earth around the sun, okay. Because of this position of the earth around the sun, we get different seasons. Now, look at figure 3.3. You will see that on 21st June, the northern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun. The rays of the sun fall directly on Tropic of Cancer. So, as a result, these areas, they receive more heat. Which areas receive more heat? Tropic of Cancer. The areas near the Tropic of Cancer, they receive more heat in the northern hemisphere. Why? Because this northern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun. The North Pole is inclined towards the sun, and the places beyond the Arctic Circle experience continuous daylight for about 6 months. See here in the picture, okay. This is 21st June. Here the northern hemisphere, the North Pole, it is inclined towards the sun. So, the places beyond this Arctic Circle, okay, North Pole we have Arctic Circle. So, the places, the areas beyond this Arctic Circle, they will experience full day, okay, light throughout for 6 months, and this place, this northern hemisphere, it will have summer season because it is these areas, their northern hemisphere is facing towards the sun, okay. The sun rays, they are falling on Tropic of Cancer. So, these areas will get heat and light from the sun So they will have summer season, and that's why these areas will have longer days and shortest night. And 21st June, it has the longest day and shortest night in summer solstice. Now, the North Pole is inclined towards the sun, and the places beyond the Arctic Circle experience continuous daylight for about 6 months. So, hence a large portion of the northern hemisphere is getting light from the sun. Understood? So, it is summer in the region of the north of the equator, and the longest day and the shortest night at these places occur on 21st June. At this time, in the southern hemisphere, all these conditions are reversed. It is winter season there, the nights are longer than the days, and this position of the earth is called as summer solstice. Okay. So, here the conditions are just opposite in the southern hemisphere. Okay. So, southern hemisphere they will have winter season. Here in the north pole it is summer season. So, in the south pole it will have winter season, and here since it is a winter season, so here the nights are longer than the days. So, it is the conditions are just opposite of northern hemisphere, and thus we have summer solstice. Okay. The nights are longer than the days, and this position of the earth is called the summer solstice. Summer solstice means when the position of the earth, okay, when the northern pole it faces towards the sun, then this position of this earth is called as summer solstice. Now, we will see what is winter solstice. Okay. On 22nd December, the Tropic of Capricorn, it receives direct rays of the sun as the south pole tilts towards it. As the sun rays fall vertically at the Tropic of Capricorn, that is 23.5 degrees south, a large portion of the southern hemisphere gets lighted. Therefore, it is summer in the southern hemisphere with longer days and shorter nights. The same thing, then the reverse happens in the northern hemisphere. This position of the earth is called the winter solstice. Do you know that Christmas is celebrated in Australia in the summer season? Here in India we get, at that time we get winter season, right, December, but in London they have summer season. Sorry, in Australia they have summer season. Here in the picture you can see where is winter solstice. Okay. See children, here just see this diagram. This north pole it is away from the sun, okay, and this south pole it is facing towards the sun. So, that is why this south pole will have summer season and this north pole it will have winter season. So, here south pole they have longer days and shorter nights, and here in the north pole they have longer nights but shorter days. And this position of the earth where the south pole is tilted towards the sun, it is called as winter solstice. Hope you understood summer solstice and winter solstice. So, winter solstice 22nd December, it gets here the Tropic of Capricorn receives direct rays of the sun. So, 22nd December will have longer day and shortest night. Now, we will see about children what is equinox. Okay. On 21st March and September 23rd, okay, listen, on 21st March and 23rd September, what is happening? Here the direct rays of the sun they are falling on the equator. Okay. So, here the equator it is getting the maximum sun rays of the sun, so maximum light of the sun. So, the rays of the sun they are falling directly on the equator. So, at this position neither of the pole is tilted towards the sun. So, at this position what is happening? Neither the south pole nor the north pole is tilted towards the sun. So, the whole earth it experiences equal days and equal nights. and this is called as equinox. Okay, what do you mean by equinox? Equinox means when the whole earth experiences equal days and equal nights. The sun rays are falling on the equator. Okay, neither north pole nor the south pole is tilted towards the sun. So that time we will experience equinox. Now on 23rd September, it is autumn season in the northern hemisphere and spring season in the southern hemisphere. See here children. Okay, this is equinox. Here neither both of the poles, they are not facing towards, they are not inclined towards the sun. Okay, and these rays, they are falling directly on the equator. So when the sun rays fall on the equator, that time we have equinox. That time all the days and nights are equal. So on 21st March, northern hemisphere, it will have spring season. Okay, so if northern hemisphere is having spring season, then southern hemisphere is having autumn season. Okay, on 21st March, northern hemisphere spring season and southern hemisphere it is having autumn season, and exactly reverse is on 23rd September. So on 23rd September, the northern hemisphere of the north pole, it is having autumn season. Okay, and the southern hemisphere of the south pole, it is having spring season. When? On 23rd September. So remember these dates children. 21st June, summer solstice, longest day and shortest night. Okay, then 22nd December, winter solstice. Again just then we have equinox, where north pole is having spring season and south pole or southern hemisphere is having autumn season, and 21st March we are experiencing equinox. And again here on 23rd September we are having north pole is having autumn season and south pole is having spring season. On 23rd September, it is autumn season in the northern hemisphere and spring season in the southern hemisphere. The opposite is the case on 21st March, when it is spring in the northern hemisphere and autumn in the southern hemisphere. Thus, you find that there are days and nights and changes in the season because of the rotation and revolution of the earth respectively. So that's why children, we have days and nights due to the rotation of the earth and changes in the season due to the revolution of the earth. So here your lesson gets over. Hope you have understood very well. Children, just we will have, I will show you some videos. Okay, just see the videos of rotation, revolution. First we will see this PPT. We will revise this. Okay.
Rotation is the movement of the earth on its axis. The earth is rotating from west to east. Do you know what an axis is? Axis is an imaginary line which passes through the earth, touching the North Pole and the South Pole. The earth is tilted at 23.5 degrees. Keeping this tilt in mind, if we draw a horizontal line cutting across the earth, it will make the plane of the orbit of the earth, or the orbital plane. Let us draw a vertical line from the center of the earth, perpendicular to the orbital plane. The angle made between the line and the axis of the earth is 23.5 degrees. The axis of the earth also makes an angle of 66.5 degrees with its orbital plane. Revolution is the movement of the earth around the sun on a fixed path or orbit. The red line which you see around the sun is the fixed path of the earth on which it revolves continuously. The change in the season is because of rotation and revolution of the earth. The earth is inclined in the same direction all along its orbital path. On 21st March, it is equinox. The northern hemisphere experiences spring, while it is autumn in the southern hemisphere. As the earth moves along, it is summer in northern hemisphere and winters in the southern hemisphere on 21st June. This is called the summer solstice. This is when the Tropic of Cancer receives the direct sun rays. On 23rd of September, it is autumn in the northern hemisphere and spring in the southern hemisphere. Neither of the poles is tilted towards the sun. On 22nd December, it is winters in the northern hemisphere and summers in the southern hemisphere. This is called the winter solstice. This is when the Tropic of Capricorn receives direct sun rays. Therefore, you see that the tilt of the earth, the rotation of the earth, and also the revolution of the earth are responsible for the change in season.
So children, hope you understood with this video properly. You must have understood how the changes in the seasons take place. Now just we will revise our whatever we have learned, okay, in this lesson. We have learnt about the rotation, we have learnt about circle of illumination, then we have learnt about revolution, what is leap year, what is summer solstice, what is winter solstice, and what is equinox. So just we will revise once again motions. There are two motions, rotation and revolution. Rotation means the earth rotating on its fixed axis, and revolution means earth rotating around the sun. Then we have seen what do you mean by circle of illumination, okay, the circle that divides, okay, the dark area from the light area. Dividing the areas having sunlight from the darkness is called the circle of illumination. Then we have seen revolution. The earth takes 365 days and 6 hours to complete one year, okay, around the sun. It takes 365 days and 6 hours to complete one revolution around the sun, due to which there are different seasons are occurring, and this seasons occurs due to the tilted axis of the earth, and it is the earth is tilted at 23.5 degree. So just remember this. Then I have shown you what is meant by leap year. A leap year has 366 days. The year which is divided by 4, you can do like this also. You can divide the year, whichever year you want to find, by 4, then you will get this leap year. Here what happens, as the earth takes 365 days and 6 hours, these 6 hours of every year are added to make one extra day over a period of 4 years, and this is added to the month of February. Thus we get February as 29 days instead of 28 days in the leap year. Then we have seen summer solstice. Here summer solstice, the north pole is inclined towards the sun. So this northern hemisphere is having summer season, whereas the southern pole is having winter season, and this position of the earth is called as summer solstice. Again we have seen winter solstice. Here the south pole is tilted towards the sun, and see the south pole, okay, it is tilted towards the sun. So that's why the southern hemisphere will have summer season and the northern hemisphere will have winter season. And 22nd December has the longest day and shortest night in the southern hemisphere. So this position of the earth is called as winter solstice. Then we have seen equinox, okay. Equinox means when the sun rays fall directly on the equator, right. So here the earth experience equal days and equal nights. So these direct rays of the sun, they fall on 21st March and 23rd September. On 23rd September, it is autumn season in the northern hemisphere and spring in the southern hemisphere. and here on 21st March it is opposite, it is spring in the northern hemisphere and autumn in the southern hemisphere. So, equinox means when the whole earth it experiences equal days and nights, and the rays of the sun they fall on the equator. At this position neither the pole is tilted towards the sun, means neither the north pole nor the south pole is tilted towards the sun. So, this position of the earth is called as equinox, and days and nights are occur due to the rotation of the earth, and changes in the seasons occur due to the revolution of the earth. Okay. So, this was what your lesson was about the change, about the motions of the earth, children. Hope you have understood very properly about this lessons, motions of the earth, what is summer solstice, what is winter solstice, what do you mean by leap year, how to count a leap year, then what are the different motions of the earth, then what will happen if the earth will not rotate, or what will happen if the earth will not revolve. So, now we will just go through the notes of this lesson. Open your textbook, open the exercise of the lesson. Answer the following questions. Okay. What is the angle of inclination of the earth's axis with its orbital plane? So, what is the angle of an inclination? We have shown in the video also. Okay. We have seen in the video plus in PPT also, and we have read in the lesson also. So, the angle of inclination of the earth's axis with its orbital plane is 66.5 degree. Okay. Orbital plane 66.5 degree. Next question is, what do you define rotation and revolution? So, rotation, it is the movement of the earth on its axis, and revolution, it is the movement of the earth around the sun in a fixed path or orbit. Then next one, again third question is, what is a leap year? So, here earth, it takes 365 days and 6 hours to complete a revolution. Okay. How many days it takes to complete one revolution? It takes 365 days and 6 hours. But for the sake of our convenience, what do? We consider that year consisting of 365 days. Then the 6 hours that are ignored, they make one day, that is 24 hours over a period of 4 years. This one day is added to the month of Feb, and thus Feb has 29 days, which is called as a leap year. Now, we will see difference between winter and summer solstice. Summer solstice is the position of the earth when the rays of the sun fall on the Tropic of Cancer, whereas winter solstice, position of the earth where the rays fall on Tropic of Capricorn. Here north pole is tilted towards the sun, here north pole is away from the sun. The northern hemisphere gets light, here the southern hemisphere gets light from the sun, and during this period northern hemisphere days are longer than the nights, and here nights are longer than the days. The next question was, what is equinox? Equinox means when the rays of the sun fall on the equator. Okay. Then why does southern hemisphere experience winter and summer solstice? The southern hemisphere experience winter and summer solstice because when the north pole is tilted towards the sun, the northern hemisphere experience summer solstice. At this time, the south pole is away from the sun, so the southern hemisphere has winter solstice. Then when the north pole is tilted away from the sun, the northern hemisphere will have winter solstice. Now we will see, again last one, why do poles experience 6 months day and 6 months night? The poles experience 6 months days and night because of the tilt of the earth on its axis. When the northern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun, the north pole is inclined towards the sun. So, it experiences continuous daylight for 6 months. These conditions are reversed when the southern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun. Now, we will do MCQs. The movement of the earth around the sun is known as, come on tell children, rotation or revolution? Around the sun, it is called as revolution. Okay. Direct rays of the sun fall on equator. When does the direct rays of the sun fall on equator? It falls on 21st March. Then Christmas is celebrated in summer in which country? Australia, correct. It is celebrated in summer in Australia. Then cycle of the season is caused due to the revolution. Fill in the blanks. A leap year has 366 days. Daily motion of the earth is rotational. Earth travels around the sun in a elliptical order. The sun's rays fall directly on Tropic of Cancer. Here the answer is Tropic of Cancer, and the last answer is days are shorter during winter season. So children, here your lesson gets over. Just solve these MCQs and fill in the blanks in your own in your textbook. Go through the textbook, read the textbook and solve these MCQs and fill in the blanks once again in your textbook. Question answers we will be writing in the notebook afterwards. So till then, meet you in the next session. Goodbye and thank you very much.